612 ABC Brisbane.
Phil of Bribie Island. Phil,
Right.
hi mate. You're an ex-train driver.
Yep.
And you were involved in recruitment for drivers.
Recruitment selection, and I was an ex-driver trainer, actually.
What can you tell me?
Well, normally what happens in these cases is they'll promote internally to the driver's position, because that way they have access to staff who are already partially trained with safe working, or dealing with the public, all the stuff that goes with it. All they require then is traction training and route training. So that's why the jobs won't be advertised straight away, and then they'll probably start, I would imagine, with the men who are guards at the moment, because they're the next level down for training, and they'll give them the traction, and they'll have a certain amount of route experience already, and then they'll probably bring people from the station grades and the porters grades and that with safe working experience, and then they'll promote them back up through the system, and eventually, sometime way down the track, they may recruit from the streets and start them off in the whole process.
How can people who are looking for work get a job, whether it be a guard or a train driver? I mean, just my listeners have said they've been looking at the website and there's no jobs advertised. People need work, and they want work, and they want jobs. So how do they apply?
Well, normally they'll bring, like I say, internal people up the ladder, and then at the bottom end is more likely a place where they will cut staff or not replace staff, especially if they can get people to transfer from the regional areas back into the city where there is a shortage of drivers. And usually, I say, eventually they'll probably have to promote people or recruit people off the street. They have done in the past, advertised straight-out drivers' jobs and trained people who have come off the streets in their regional areas to try and get them to stay in their regional areas, but usually they're only applying for the job for a ticket to get out.
Now, can you assist me with this? That one listener sent us a note saying apparently there are plenty of train drivers, but just they have not been certified for the new lines.
Well, that could be that. Look, that's probably the most likely cause, because they've haven't had access to the track, and you don't pluck a driver off the shelf, and it's not like driving down to Brisbane and have a look at the road and see a few traffic lights and then come back and you can, it doesn't work like that. A driver, when he's certified to learns a road and is certified in it, he spends, it could be weeks, learning that track. He's got to know every set of points, where every switch is, where every signal is, and exactly what it means. Because, as you understand, they're travelling at a high speed, and and then they have to know all the system back on the main line that gets them in and out of that particular branch.
All right.
Now, they've had Springfield and all that has come online, and I'd say it's time's caught up with them on this particular instance.
Okay, so there are drivers that haven't been certified for the new line, but just very briefly, is it true that there are overtime bans being applied to the certification process for the new lines?
Look, Steve, I don't know that. I'm not in the job anymore. I haven't been there for a good while, so I couldn't comment on that at all.
Appreciate you phoning in, Phil. Thank you.
No trouble. Bye-bye.
That's Phil. Let's go to Tony of Zilmere. Tony, you've already trained 40 guards for drivers. Is that right? Tell me the story.
I just heard that like the previous caller had said, that there are guards that have been trained, and for whatever reason they're not using them. See, the problem is they've been trying to do away with guards for many years. They did away with guards on the goods trains. They did away with guards on the long-distance trains.
Yes, this is a money-saving or an overhead-saving process, isn't it? Cost-saving.
Yeah, well, these new trains from India are 6-car trains, where there's no position for a guard in the middle of the train like any other train. So it's an opportunity for them to do away with the guards. And I don't know how it's going to work with these new 6-car trains they're getting from India, is that how does anyone help anyone with a wheelchair or anything in the middle of the platform? There's no position for a guard to ride in the middle of the train like they do now, and that's a golden opportunity to say, well, let's replace the guards with some contract security guards from Syria or somewhere else, and there's a movement right throughout the railways to do away with full-time staff and just replace them with contractors, whether it be station staff or cleaners or security guards.
So essentially almost like a labour hire company almost.
Well, they want to go for contract labour and part-time employment like everybody else. and the natural progression for guards now is to become drivers because there might be surplus if they do away with them.
Mm-hmm.
And these new trains don't seem to have anywhere for a guard to go.
Tony, thanks for phoning.
Okay.
Tony of Zilmere, 1300 222 612 is the phone number if you could tell me more. We've contacted QR for a response to this, by the way. We're waiting for a reply.
Reboot your life.